Hi, my name is James Shepard, and in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about payment processing for a mom and pop shop. We're going to cover how payment processing works for these businesses, and then also what you need to do to go in and sell these business owners on your payment processing solution. So to dive in, first of all, let's describe this business type. So the best way I can tell you is you're driving down the street in your local community, and you look out and you see independently owned businesses along the street. So these are going to be physical location, retail, restaurant, auto repair, specialty retail, the hobby store, things of that nature. Also going to be, cafes, that sort of thing. Those are all going to be these mom and pop shop type businesses. How do these mom and pop shops process payments? Well, we've seen the rise of Square and Clover as the primary two competitors really going after this space in a way that's providing a solution that these business owners want. And that tells us that business owners are looking for simplicity. So they really like Square because of that simplicity. So flat rate pricing is good for them, things of that nature. But it also tells us that they do have a desire for limited technology. These are businesses that are not typically looking for a really complex point of sale solution. What they want is basic functionality to keep track of their customers, keep track of orders, basic inventory management, things of that nature. That's what those business owners are looking for. And again, we're seeing that being supplied primarily by Square and Clover in the marketplace today. These business owners are also most likely to utilize a standalone terminal of something like this on the countertop. And so these are businesses that, may not even want a point of sale system at all. They may just want a regular standalone terminal. And again, in the marketplace today, when we look at the payments industry, we certainly see a movement away from devices like this and towards more integrated payment solutions. But again, for these business types, they're still going to gravitate a lot of times towards these solutions because they're easy to use, they're simple, and they don't take up a lot of space on the counter. What about card mix? What type of payments are these business owners accepting? And this question is largely going to be determined by their average ticket size. Okay, so these are businesses, they're physical location, right? And so typically we are going to see a lot more consumer cards. So we don't tend to see a lot of business to business transactions. So things like interchange optimization are not going to be as relevant to these mom and pop shops as a general rule. But then also we look at that average ticket size and we say, well, here's a business that's a retail store, average ticket of $60, $70. They're probably doing a lot of debit. That's a lot of times because they're making a small purchase. If I'm spending $4 on a cup of coffee or something, I'm really much more likely to use my debit card than if I'm spending $1,000 buying a piece of jewelry for my wife. There I'm more likely to use my credit card to get my reward points. So we're going to see that average ticket size is really what's going to drive that card mix. But before we get into common pricing structures for these businesses, I want to mention our sponsor, ISOAMP. If you head over to ISOAMP.com, you will find the leader in full service statement analysis and also a company that provides learning management systems with all the training for the industry. If you want to learn the payments industry and train your team, head over to getisoamp.com. So let's talk about common pricing structures. When you get a statement from one of these mom and pop shops, in the past, it was a lot of tiered pricing where you'd see qualified, mid-qualified, and non-qualified transactions. But what we actually see today is kind of this binary where most of these businesses either have flat rate pricing from somebody like Square, or they're on interchange plus pricing, which is more transparent. So they're usually going to be on one of those two pricing structures. Remember though, all things being equal, these business owners do prefer simplicity, so flat rate pricing as a result has become really popular with these business types. So now that we understand the basics about this business type from a merchant services perspective, how do you sell these businesses and how do you provide them the solutions that they want? Well, first of all, definitely start with what they have today and ask them if they're looking for something different. Now, one thing I did not mention is that these businesses are also by far and away the most likely to have dual pricing or cash discounting or surcharging, some kind of differential pricing where there's a higher price for card and a lower price for cash. But then from there, it really just comes down to simplicity. Think in terms of, making things simple, making things easy for them to understand and use. Think in terms of a high level of service, your local business owner providing this great service to them. So I would think in terms of that simplicity and all that when you're going in to talk to them. And again, look at what they have today and just ask them, do you like it, right? What would you like to see different? So I hope that these tips will help you as you get out in the field and sell mom and pop shops. And don't forget to visit getisoamp.com to learn more about statement analysis and training services.